Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, David.
How are you this fine day?
I am just ducky.
Well, that's good.
It's good to actually hear your voice.
You know, it's a progress thing. Mm-hmm. Little
Yeah,
by little.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's nice to be back, Stig. We've been both been busy. David's been busy recovering, and I've been busy building a bathroom for my parents. So
It's important.
I haven't been around many Sundays.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pooping is important, and having a place to do it is even more important.
Yeah. So it's almost done. We're on the home stretch. They're getting the flooring put in, and so I just have to put in the shower surround and doors. So that it'll be done after that.
Yay.
Woo!
No more
Yeah.
pooper jobs.
So hopefully everyone has been busy printing and doing cool things while we've been gone. But we have been talking about a new time.
Yes. Ducky is a boomer term. I should know. Hey, I say ducky all the time. I'm not a boomer. I don't even know what they. Maybe I'm a boomer. Double boom.
Double.
Yes. So, when we had originally scheduled our live stream days and times, we were mindful of other activities that were going on that people would be attending or wanting to go to, and we thought it was important to make sure that we all had space to do those things, but some things have changed as of recent, and there's a little wiggle room to move our time. And so we are going to move our time. Move our time.
Yeah. So starting, I think, next week, we'll be moving to 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah.
So it's just an hour later than normal, but yeah. So it's not a huge change, but it gives David and I maybe an hour more to nap before the stream.
Hey, sleep is precious. No, I'm just like we were talking yesterday. An hour is not really a thing, but
No, but it gets things. We'll have had a decent breakfast and all that, and we can get things going, and then have our stream, and then we're ready for lunch, kind of thing. So,
yeah. So we will be doing 11. Because if other things change back, 11 is still not walking on toes of other broadcasts, so it will be good.
Yeah.
I'm totally rusty at this. I'm trying to do things that I can barely remember. I'm sorry. It's like, okay, I'm putting up the thing that's a thing. All right. So if your name's on this list, thank you very much. We appreciate everything you guys do for us, and it lets us do all the things that we like to do when we're not recovering from things. So that's good. But thank you, Helch, for the tree sports and everybody else on the list. You're awesome.
We appreciate everyone.
We will be doing our Patreon live stream. That's the words I'm looking for.
Yeah, we should do that sooner than later since we missed one.
Yeah. Next week at 11, everybody show up for the Patreon live stream. So if you haven't been to one, we send a code in the Discord, usually the day of, just before, and you can use that code to join us on a streaming platform where we all join together, or you can join us on just the chat, and
Yeah. You don't have to come live. You can just hang out just like normal. But it's always nice to get you guys on and have a chat, see how you guys are doing and whatnot. So it's nice to interact. I mean, we do it on Discord and whatnot, but it's always nice to see a friendly face as well.
Yes. I'm just curious. Right now, YouTube is reporting that we aren't sending enough data, even though my computer says we are. So, is there any artifacts for you guys? Just wondering, glitchy video, slow audio, whatever. Just if it's weird, let me know. Because I don't believe YouTube. Yeah, I saw that.
We saw that, Dom.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. It'll help pay for websites and other projects that are upcoming.
Yes.
We're expanding the arsenal. Before we jump right into other topics, I do want to just mention the next few videos that I have planned and will, voice willing, will come out in the next week or two here. As a start, I'm going to do a Marlin firmware 2.0.9.x, because who knows, it might have another number by the time.
Yeah, right.
But we're going to do a brand new Marlin series. So think of all the little things that we do in Marlin every day. We'll make kind of like a series. So we'll have the general config, and then we'll have a BL touch again, and we'll start going through like the new features for advanced bed leveling, advanced filament change. There's just a ton of new stuff now that it's worth the time to go look at it. And so we're
absolutely
gonna be doing those, and then a new slicer series too. But I think we both have a few Marlin videos we'd like to work on, and then we do Clipper.
Yeah, we'll have some Clipper stuff, and we're also going to look at some Pi stuff again too, just to kind of refresh some new options out there for people. Because pricing on some of it has changed, and availability of speed and whatnot. So we want to look at a few other things. So those are some of the stuff coming up. And I'll have some tuning, because I have to do tuning on the Voron. So I will be looking at Clipper, and I may even at some point switch it back to Marlin at some point after I've tuned it, just to do some comparisons.
Vince asked what's wrong with me, and I have long vid that'll keep us safe on the stream. So I'm gonna be weird for a while. Gary.
Hey, Gary.
So we're really excited to jump back in and get into a few of these things. Maybe before we move off the Pi topic,
sure.
In Canada, it is almost impossible to find a Raspberry Pi right now. We are doing a workshop, and I'm hoping to have some partner videos with that workshop that we can do as resources. But we needed a few Raspberry Pis, and we lucked out finding the new Pi 02
V2,
which is interesting because I don't know. Like, Greg, did you see the original? Like, obviously the original Zero.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, we played with it. It was a little lackluster.
But one thing they did do with the original is it sent the GPIO headers, so you could send the headers onto the Pi. And the new one, I said to Greg, I'm like, where's the headers? Like, it's got all the onboard traces for the headers to be soldered to, but there's no header. So you don't actually get the header.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's deliberate because people were complaining that I can't solder wires directly to it or something. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Or if they just cheaped out and didn't want to spend the extra 5 cents to put the headers in. I'm not sure. So, but yeah, we'll go through that because we do have a Pi 0 and a Pi 0 V2, and so we'll look at those and. Because we will be in our workshop we're doing we're using the Pi 0 V2.
Yeah.
So
and I think I don't know how many people use Pis, probably a few that watch and are here right now. Just remember, like, even with like the other micro computers like a Banana Pi or all of those, the weak point with them is the power system. So always use a switched power supply to turn off and on the power before you unplug or plug it in. It doesn't take too much to just zap it and that's it. But other than that, they're great little things.
yeah, they're really good.
So recently, Prusa Slicer has released a new release candidate, which is kind of cool. I mean, we just got, it feels like 2.4 just came out, you know?
Right? Well, because it did in January.
The header block was in the box of, my Pi 2.0. Yeah, see, it wasn't in mine.
Yeah, and we bought from a different company. Yeah. So maybe different companies ship or spec them different or something.
It could be, for sure. Just knowing, like, I've bought a few from like Canada in Canada and buy a Pi in Canada, and that even though it's the exact same thing, you get different product, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible. Remember when you used to play case roulette? You'd order a Pi kit and then you never knew which case they were going to send. And you always hope, is it a good one? Please be the good one.
Most of the time we print our own anyway.
Yeah,
so
now.
It really didn't matter.
I mean, for sure, you're not wrong. So it's just one of those things. But Raspberry Pis are ubiquitous with print control, and the 2W, so the 02W. I honestly think that's like the most aggressive product that could exist for 3D printers. Small form factor, fast processor, away you go. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, and now back to what we were originally talking about.
Circle back.
Prusa Slicer 2.4.1 release candidate 1 is finally out. So we had a few beta builds and whatnot, and they went to beta 3, and then I think they got the features they wanted in there, and now we're in this the stability patching version in the release candidate. So looks like there's just some minor bug fixes for some G-code issues, a couple Windows specific bugs, and yeah, so I'm sure there might be one or two more release candidates, but it's looking like they've got it pretty stable. So
yeah, and it's important to remember that when you're looking at dot sub releases, so like this isn't the main number, this is a sub release. So lots of the fixes that we see in it are just for stability purposes. So oops, we borked how Windows reads, our 3MF projects. Let's fix that kind of stuff. So there's I shouldn't say lots. There's 2 official fixes in the release candidate for Windows and Mac when they're zooming and reading files. And then they did some stability release stuff for G-code using. So, I mean,
I don't think we're going to see a 2.5 for a while yet, because until they're full release of their tool changer,
Mm.
and the Core XY comes out, and I think they're talking they're going to start shipping in the end of March, July, between March and July, so like second quarter, I guess, sometime. So once we get closer to that time, then we'll probably see it do a major number increase to 2.5.
Um, Dominic,
Yeah.
just spinning back a second, Dominic said there's a UPS hat for a pie um, that he saw on another channel explaining computers. But did they say how long that UPS ran for in a power outage? Like long enough to just shut it down? Or just curious if you knew. So yeah, Prusa, it's an interesting thing, Prusa, Slicer, and Kira actually,
Yeah.
because their development life cycle is tightly integrated to their printer development cycle, right? So
That's true.
when you think about like, oh, when's the next Prusa Slicer coming out? Well, they did a big release when they got the resin stuff launched, right?
Yeah.
And
And then the
yeah,
mini and
and
yeah.
then Kira, the free version, and the essentials, they did a big launch when the Ultimaker stuff upgraded for their firmware line and security stuff. So
Which makes sense, right? Because I mean, you're gonna constantly, patch and whatnot, but the major releases, you know, you might be looking at new features and whatnot, and I think, focusing on the new features for new printers kind of makes sense because they want to sell the new printer, so you want the newest feature.
yeah, right. So you need, um, and ironically, that statement is why we took a giant step backwards. It seems with resin printers, right? Because you have companies like Prusa and Kira that directly own and develop their slicers, and then you had the entirety of a product depending on a third-party solution. and,
Yeah.
right? And then instead of owning that development, they were using somebody else's, and then it got locked.
Yep. Yeah. So
happen, right?
it when you don't control end to end, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's sad but true. Not to quote terrible
We
songs, but there you go.
we have not tried the Pico board yet. We did talk about it in one of our previous streams, but I don't believe, David, you don't have a Pico board.
No, I never did order one yet. I
Yeah.
haven't really. This is the first time I've been in the basement since
Yeah.
January, right?
And
So,
and according to one of the developers, Marlin is actively developing right now for the Pico board, so that one will be added probably when they rev, like it might even be available now in the nightly builds, but probably when they rev the next version of Marlin, it will be one of the boards added, because I know they're actively working on it.
yeah.
So
And I mean, I think the original intent of the actual board is to integrate well with Clipper, just because it's like it's a very good companion board for like your Core XY kind of what the heck printer did you build? What was that called again?
well, except it doesn't have a Pi integrated in, right? It's just
No, the Pico has a Pi hat built in that's supposed to integrate with the Pi.
well, yeah, but it's just like any other
Like,
one. You can connect it to a
it's
Pi.
the form factor though that is.
Yeah, it's very small.
Well, no, not
It's
only
very
that,
small.
but they flatten the.
And the connectors go in from
Yeah.
the side and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good, but it's still you wouldn't use it on a larger printer
No.
just because it doesn't have enough I/O
But that's
for that.
What,
But
my
for
Clipper,
an Ender,
Clipper comes in there,
for-
right?
Yeah, for an ender or for any of the other smaller printers with limited access, that's fine.
Hmm.
It'll work great.
Well, and then that's, like I said, that's where the clipper side of things comes in, because then you can just marry two and be done.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just looking at their official release notes, and I don't see anything like on the front page on their main release. So,
Yep.
of Marlin, but
Yeah, it's not it's still in development. Like because the chipset and whatnot, they have to build the hell to be compatible, and so that's what they're working on the back end of that now. So
right, yeah. That, I mean, it'll be interesting because if they do that, I said it would be one more tool in that little controller's toolbox, and it would be cool.
yeah. Well, and with the chip shortage and everything, having another chip in the lineup for Marlin will be good too. So developers can come up with other boards and whatnot. So it's always good that they're expanding and modernizing what chips they use. So it's good to see.
Greg, I have an important question for you.
Certainly.
Super important. Wouldn't you like to print 2 times faster for no reason at all?
I would love to print 2 times faster for no reason at all.
Well, I have good news for you then. Inexplicably, you can print faster in Cura 4.1.3.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that that's how they marketed it, but okay, if you say so.
I did a test, well, like, not intentionally did a test, but like I have sliced 2 things in both those versions of Cura, and I can say they took the same amount of time, right? Like, it's the claim optimization under the hood in the new one, but I don't know. So here's a
but maybe but here's the thing, maybe it's with factory profiles.
You have to use the default,
right. So if you've got your optimized profile that David has spent so much time optimizing, and you compare that to the factory profile, your profile is probably still going to be faster.
It could, I did both those were factory profile, because one was at the work computer on that when we did the last Ender workshop.
Yeah.
And then the one was here before the end of the world. Stig just popped up in the comments there with he's gonna stick to the E3 Mini V1 too, and I don't disagree. Once you find a board you like,
yeah, and as long as they continue to make it and it's solid, why not just keep using
not
it?
Rev 1, not just
right.
Avoid those ones.
Yeah, they've worked out all the bugs, but there's change is inevitable. It'll there'll be newer boards, and who knows, maybe we'll go 64-bit.
So I could just use my computer, is what you're saying, then?
You could just think and it'll print it for you.
Wow. It'll be a neural network of awesomeness. So I'm just like, I'll throw it out there before we move on, but like, has anybody noticed this claim about faster printing in Cura 4.1.3 if you are using Cura, obviously 1.4.13, whatever I just said, and 1.3.
I haven't, and I've only just recently sliced a few things in Cura, and I didn't notice
very recently.
Did notice a huge difference, but I haven't also printed much. So
Dominic said he posted a link in the Discord. Thank you, Dominic. I'll check that out. What did he? Stig said use Cura 4.8. The problem is not the G.
Oh, cool! It has 2 18650 batteries in it. That'll last like forever.
Yeah, we need to put like our put like your TV on that, so that when your power goes out, you can still watch your little thing off the buy. Nice. And
so I don't know. Are we done with Kira talk, or do we
ask the question like
talk?
this? Are we done with Kira? Yep, I'm done with Kira.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were a little, looking for stuff and whatnot, and we've been kind of offline for a while. So during this time, Revo has finally launched. What do you mean? We said we're done with Kira.
Yeah,
so
what's
which
after
one did
Kira?
A blank spot that
It didn't load for you? Oh no. Okay, here, I'll help you out. It says Pathio's dead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I refreshed my page. Yes, but Pathio's has been dead for about 6 months, and we just noticed it.
That's because they finally deactivated all the accounts, and I'm like, but I want to. Anyway, yes.
Yeah.
Revo launched. Revo is a big deal when it comes to rapid tool or head change. It's not tool, but
and it's from all the reviews that I've watched and whatnot, it looks like it's a pretty nice system for heating and whatnot too. So the heater cartridge, it has reinforced wire, so you can practically hang off of it and you're not going to break your thermistor wire.
I tell you, that's one thing I do actually when my printer is going. I try to hold on to the hot end,
right,
for dear life. I'm glad that we can do that.
Yeah, it's on my list of things to get. I've been up to Calgary a bunch of times, but I was busy, so I haven't gotten a chance to go visit Spool and pick one up. So it's on my list. I do want one. But was it Dominic or who someone I think it was Dominic that posted. No. Yeah, it was. That posted originally at launch, Revo, or before launch when they're kind of teasing stuff, and on their Facebook they showed off a mounting piece for Creality printers that were stock. So right now they've got the Hemera, they've got the V6 compatible, and then they've got the micro one with the V6 with the nut on the top that is used in a lot of them. So the CR10, the way that E3D has done it is they've taken everything with the heat break down to heater cartridge and whatnot, and that's patented. But anything you can screw it into, the cold zone is open source. Yeah. So anyone can make if you have a specific printer or an older, with a specific style of mounting system, you can now have a Revo made compatible with it. And it's not, that part is not copyrighted, which is, so anyone is allowed to develop that piece. But they aren't listing the CR10 one for sale on their site. So I don't know if they're maybe doing something with Creality or whatnot. I haven't seen it. Raymond put something
Revo,
in.
He says, I'm not sure. He said it will be coming out by April. I'm not sure which, because there's been a few things.
Yeah. So it's to be. So if you wanted, like, if a lot of us will have converted to all metal. For example, David, I think you did all metal on your Ender by putting in the what's the brand? Swiss.
Oh, yeah,
Micro Swiss.
Yeah, I've got a few
right?
of those.
And so this will be similar. It'll be a kit available. You can get the heat break and kit, or you can get the cold end, and you can just screw it together, bolt it right in.
Yeah. There was a tweet on March 2nd by E3D. So it wasn't Creality that tweeted it. It was E3D. So
Okay, good. Yeah, well, I know they had originally talked about it, but they said that other models, and they had them blurred out on their website, like other models, coming up. But yeah,
you gotta hold some suspense.
Well, I think they wanted to make sure that they launched their product, which replaced their product first, right? They want to make sure they had enough to get out to all the resellers and everything. I know the Creality Revo will be. I think they'll get a decent amount of sales out of that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, because right now, when people ask, I want an all metal haunted on a Creality machine, the gold standard, the regular reply is still, oh, I'll just go with the Micro Swiss. Right?
Yeah.
And like there's other options. There's the E3D V6 all metal, Hemera, H2. But I mean, the easiest one for people without modding is the Micro Swiss. And it would be really sweet to have another good option.
Yeah, right. Another good option would be great. And especially, if they can make it and it when you screw it in, it's fully stock height and everything, so that's you're not having to tweak your offsets much. That'd be really nice. I mean, we know that it's never perfect, but I mean, as close to it as possible would be awesome. And someone was putting in chat that they don't have the high wear nozzles. They don't. Currently, they only have brass in the quick change and whatnot. There was some talk that they're doing it, but I mean, I think they needed to do the initial manufacturing and launch before they work on the more advanced products. So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure they've got something up their sleeve, but right now you can't get the high wear ones, but you can change the nozzle so quickly. Maybe it's not a big deal. And I think I've only partially worn one of my nozzles, but I don't print a ton of abrasive.
I've worn more than one.
I've clogged some really, really bad.
Yeah, me too, for sure. I'm just trying to see what the price is on those nozzles. I don't see
you can get a kit. Well, we can check the Canadian pricing.
I mean, so we all know that printing glow in the dark or any filled filament, generally carbon fiber or nylon, can be a little rough. That stuff can wear a nozzle, and I have worn nozzles like a 0.4 to a 0.6.
So a single nozzle is $33 Canadian. Now you got to remember that includes the heat break, right? And the rapid change feature. So, so it's not just it's all metal, right?
Yeah. I think that hits kind of the nail on the head a little bit too when it comes to maybe the downfall of the system, like maybe, and that's when you think about the cost of a nozzle replacement on a non-Revo, like the nozzle is a part of it.
Nozzles
like 30.
Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive, and if your cartridges and whatnot, but I think it's you've got to look at it as is this something that works for you? Do you think does it give you slightly better performance, or is it a leap and bounds better than what you had? If you're changing nozzles a lot, does it benefit you? Like, I think it's a personal thing. Like, you're gonna have to make the call for yourself. I'm definitely want to try one to see whether it's worth it in my mind. Like, I mean, the reviews look good. The premise of how it changes and how it connects together, I love. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes with the pricing.
So like, I can see an aggressive use for this product inside of a small printer farm that requires
absolutely.
like, lots of uptime for a hobby user. I mean, there's people like, I read a comment in the chat here that says I have 8,000 hours on it and it works flawlessly. And that's from Ray, I think. Yeah, it's a CR10S, right? So it's one of those things, right, where if you're printing on a machine like that for that long, it would be possible to have the same nozzle in too. It really would.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And at a hobby level too, because.
And I'm looking at the Volcano nozzle. Mm-hmm. It's $38 Canadian, right? Just for the nozzle, right? So it's not outrageous, really, when you look at it.
Not out to lunch.
Because you're getting a heat break too.
I mean, it's an all-in-one package, is the thing. It's just like the use case, I can see it justify the cost to have more than say like 3 on hand.
Well, you and that's when they sell their kits, right? Where you can get 3 different models together and whatnot. So really, you can. But it's one of those things. You've got to see, like, they have the kit for 80. You can get either 3 4.4, or you can get a 0.25, 0.6, and 0.8 kit. Mm-hmm. And they're $85 for 3.
Yeah, it's $5 cheaper than buying 3.
Yeah. So I mean, it's it is what it is. It might be worth the upgrade, but it might not be. Like, I mean, if everything's working fine for you, you don't need to upgrade.
It's not broke.
But
fix it.
But if your printer's broke, and you've got to rewire it and you got to do all this and whatnot, and you feel, well, if I'm doing all this work, why not do an upgrade? Mm-hmm. Sure. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I could see too, like for me personally, if I wanted to do quick changes for different materials in the enclosed printing space, once they get a few different nozzle types together, right? Like, that could be really useful in those cases too, because then you don't have to take a printer out of an enclosure just to like switch stuff on it and then put it back in. It's an easy change.
Yeah. So it may not be specifically targeted at the hobby, like you said, right?
I love Dominic's comment there. At the price for nozzles, it might be cheaper just to buy another Ender 3 with a stock on it and use abrasives on that. Like,
you're not wrong. Because pricing of mind you, we noticed the other day that the Ender V2s went up in price too. So.
Well, it was bound to happen. I mean, with everything
shipping
else,
is crazy.
Yeah, there's nothing immune to the inflation of the markets.
True. True.
I'm gonna put up a thing here, maybe if I can
All
find
right.
it. Okay, hold on. I can't find it. I'll just say the thing.
Wow.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Yes, like, subscribe, and Raymond normally, boosts us up in chat to remind everyone to give us a thumbs up and whatnot. You got to. We've been offline for a bit, so we need the algorithm gods to smile on us.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But they will smile on us once again soon. But I don't know if many people, probably lots of people have seen it, but it was, I think, about 2 years ago. There's a little channel called CNC Kitchen with a very smart fellow that does very nerdy things all the time.
I really enjoy his videos.
He does more stress testing, like prints and material analysis, I think. Than like actual like printer topic. You know what I mean? Like
he does everything. But yes, I do like his deep dives.
And one of his deep dives, it was kind of interesting. And a few people have tackled it, but it was connecting prints to either other things or the prints themselves. And we ended up talking actually about the 3D Gloop project to weld prints together the other day.
Yep.
But another way you can do that is with inserts and physical. Why can't I get the word out? But anyway, physical joint.
Mechanical connections.
There it is. And Greg, what did you do?
So I got my first exposure to heat set inserts with the Voron because it has some that are required and whatnot, and the ones that came with the kit, they're just so. And I decided, so I bought some more better quality ones, but they still weren't great. I ended up going on and I bought a set of 3. So I got 3 different sizes from Stefan's online store, and I'm going to try them out. And I'll do a little bit of a video on how I insert them, whether I think they're easier to use than the other ones I got. And these ones are a little bit nicer because they actually have they have the knurled part that grabs the plastic, but then they have a flat piece that fits perfectly in the hole. So when you're pushing it in, you can push it in the hole so it's kind of mounted straight, and then you can just heat and press it in, and it'll stay more accurate, shall we say? Because I had a few of mine where they were kind of not quite square, shall we say?
They were different.
No, they still work.
Yeah.
They still work, but so I'm gonna look at that and whatnot. He did if you want a really good rundown on strength, and one of the conclusions was if you're not constantly taking it apart and putting it back together, a slightly undersized hole that of PLA or ABS or whatever that you just screw your metal thread into is good enough. But if it's something that you have to take apart on a regular basis, you'll have to eventually reprint that part because it'll wear through the plastic.
Yeah.
But just from the mechanical force and the friction taking in and out. So that's where the threaded inserts really shine. So so I got some of those, and I've got some cheap ones from an alley place.
You found it in the alley, would you say?
Yes. Yeah. And so I'll just do a bit of a comparison and my thoughts and kind of thing. So
I've done a lot of like embedding,
and he makes good content, so I felt, I'm going to support him by buying some inserts. I mean, it wasn't a lot, and it came really quick. So we're in Canada. His support guy emailed me because they had never shipped to Canada before. And he asked, hey, let me know when you get them because we've never shipped and we don't know if they're going to charge us duty or what when we ship something, and how long does it take? It took 7 business days, 12 days total. So that was pretty reasonable coming all the way from Germany. So I was pretty happy with the speed. It was definitely a lot faster than the getting them from the alley, shall we say.
The alley takes a while, a long while. Man, Dominic just was talking about how the new Hero Me 6 uses the inserts, and that's something I haven't heard of talked about in probably 2 years, since the Hero Me 3, I think, was the last time I looked at it. So that's pretty sweet. good
Yeah,
to see they're
yeah.
not
Well,
using the
and we'll
captive.
have to look at some of those cooling solutions and stuff moving forward too. That might be something to look at. Yeah.
Cooling is one of those things. Once it works, don't play with it. Just
Right.
leave it. And,
Yeah, exactly.
and but like when it comes to like using the inserts and stuff, I've done a lot of like, you know, captive nuts and that kind of stuff. Or threaded, slightly undersized holes and just, you know, threading right
Yep.
into them. And
Yeah, I've done the captive nuts as well and captive magnets.
yeah, magnets are underrated for joining devices for easy, quick connects. They're not as
Yep.
strong as a screw, obviously. But
Well, it depends what you're doing. Like if it's just holding a cover, you know, temporarily, like just, and it doesn't have any torque on it. I mean, a couple of neodymium magnets will be nice and solid,
it'll
right?
get you going for sure.
Yeah, and you can make some pretty cool little prints and whatnot that involve them. You did the Among Us guys, I think,
Their
with
heads
magnets, right?
snap on and off, and then they have like the bone and the guts inside the body when you die. It was this is kind of fun. I never got the imposter with the tongue because his tongue attached to his head with the magnet too. I never got that far, but yeah, no, they work good. I've seen people use them in like swords and stuff too when they print those models. So
I did a little system here for drilling, and it's got a bushing captive in here. Kind of can move around, and it just has a little insert in the top. And so, you know, those kind of prints are very, very handy because you can. And this one here is for when you're threading. You're using your threading tool to keep it aligned. So when you're getting it in, it is very straight, so that you don't have some oddness when you start it out. So so that works really well. I put a couple of flip nuts in there, and you put it on, tighten it down, and then you thread away, and so it works really well.
Tapping 101, make sure it's straight. Yeah. And then Helicon instead of the.
I that's a neat idea. I haven't. I mean, helicoils work great on aluminum heads. I don't know how. I guess in theory it should work.
It might. I can't see it not working. Whether it works better or worse, that's the question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'll have to look at that too. I don't know if I can get like M3 or M5 helicoils in Canada, but maybe, right? Because we, you know, they have to repair
Stanley,
Japanese cars and stuff. So they probably have them.
Well, they do. There's many of them.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna throw this thing up. Hold on. I'm really good at clicking buttons. Nope, that's the wrong button.
On productive prints, what do you mean, Ray? Like just like practical, like stuff like this, little jigs and whatnot that you can utilize to work on other parts. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, not Baby Yoda.
Because I really like engineering these. Like this one was neat because it has a bushing in here too, but you can't get the bushing out because I printed, paused the print, dropped it in, and then started the print. So you can actually shake it and the bushing moves inside here, but it's never coming out.
Oh, it'll come out.
Wow, unless you destroy the print.
Right? I do like that idea. Do a practical print roundup because I've printed some pieces that would cost you like $80 to buy online and save some money that way too. So that'd be kind of pretty neat.
I don't see my one. So I printed a jig for the CR10 V2 that you put into the on the carriage, and it clips in, and you can even put a screw or two to hold it, and then you can drill the pattern to put on the Bondtech LGX and screw it directly to it. So it was again a practical jig to drill holes. So there's lots of little things like that I'm sure you've done stuff like that too, David. So we should do a roundup of that kind of stuff.
So if anybody has practical prints and stuff of that nature that you've made, and we can kind of showcase, if you want to send it info at 3dmega.ca.
Yep.
That's our thing. But if you can send those, if you have some, send them to that, and then we can add your stuff into the roundup. I like the idea. So I don't.
Yeah, I do too.
We'll give it a few weeks before we start on it, maybe just to see if people have stuff they want to send. But
Yep.
if you are a person that has stuff like that, please send it and we will include it. And send it with a little blurb if it's not blatantly obvious what it does.
Yeah, and if your blurb is on Thingiverse and you've made a print and you shared it with the world, you can also include the Thingiverse link, and then your blurb might be there, and we can link it in the show notes of the show that we do. So.
Your blurb might be the best blurb.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Blurbs are always good.
I found the thing I needed to do, and I'm doing it right now. Boom. Thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.
To all of our Patreons. Helps, thanks for being top. Dominic, thanks for coming and joining the Dissolvable. We'll move you up on the side for next week.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't get it done this week, but we will move you up. And then if you wanted to follow us, we do some stuff public on Patreon, so you can go patreon.com/3dmakeit, and you can kind of see what we're up to. We also post some of the other show stuff there, and then it's a good hub.
And links to all of our social interactions are available at 3dmakeit.ca, our website. So you can always click a link on any of those, and you'll find us in all those places. And when you are on Patreon with us, you get to join us on Discord. So we have great discussions. Dominic posted some cool links, like the little backpack for the pie, the hat that is the UPS and whatnot. So there's always good information in there. So we appreciate all the good interaction we get in the Discord. So
and again, there is if you go back far enough, there was a legacy Discord which people can join, but it's not monitored. And the best way to get a hold of us is either the info at 3dmakeit.ca or through Discord.
Yep.
I don't really monitor Facebook that much right now because of stuff and reasons. But yeah. So thank you all for coming by and hanging out with us on this, our first stream in like a month.
Yeah, and it sounds like your voice is starting to get a little weak, so I think we need to call it here so that David can even speak for next week. So
we need to save some.
So thanks everyone for coming, and don't forget, next week will be our Patreon live stream, and we will see you all next time.